Hello, welcome back everyone to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. As always, I am your host Zero Yeti. Let's go ahead and get into it. The first animal of the week we have is the Chinstrap Penguin, which is a species of penguin that inhabits a variety of islands around and including the shores of the southern Pacific and Antarctic oceans and the continent of Antarctica. Its name stems from the narrow black band under its head, which makes it appear as if it were wearing a black helmet, making it easy to identify. On land, they build circular nests from stones and lay two eggs, which are incubated by both the male and female for shifts around 6 days each. They are also really well known for having a lot of same-sex couples that usually adopt the eggs of other couples that have been abandoned, like other penguin eggs. And they are considered to be some of the most protective penguins in the world of their young and can be incredibly aggressive during nesting season. Next up is the walrus, which is a large flippered marine mammal with a discontinuous distribution around the North Pole in the Arctic Ocean and subarctic seas of the Northern Hemisphere, where they can be split into two subspecies based on distribution, being the Atlantic walrus and the Pacific walrus. At around 2 tons or 4,000 pounds in weight, they are the third biggest pinniped behind the two species of elephant seals. Walruses live mostly in shallow waters above the continental shelves, spending significant amounts of their lives living along ice sheets and coastal areas where they can be found in groups of up to 100 individuals. Due to their large size and strong tusks, the only known predators of the walrus are orcas, polar bears, and humans. Walrus themselves feed mostly upon mollusks, sea cucumbers, and shellfish. However, they do display prominent scavenging tendencies and have been documented feeding upon dead fish, birds, whales, and even other pinnipeds. The walrus has played a prominent role in the cultures of many indigenous Arctic peoples who have hunted the walrus for its meat, fat, skin, ivory, and bone. During the 19th and 20th centuries, the walrus population suffered heavy losses due to massive overhunting during the whaling years. And although they've managed to rebound somewhat, their populations still remain quite fragmented. Next up is the Victoria crowned pigeon, which is a large bluish-gray pigeon with elegant blue lace-like crests, maroon breasts, and red irises. It is part of a genus of 4 unique, very large ground-dwelling pigeons native to the New Guinea region. The birds are native to the island of New Guinea, preferring swamps and lowland areas where they primarily eat seeds, fruit, the occasional invertebrate, and the occasional fish. At 30 inches long and about 8 pounds in weight, it is considered the largest living species of pigeon on Earth. When disturbed, these birds fly straight up into the canopy or a large horizontal branch of a forested tree, and after being disturbed, they remain on their perch for a considerable length, letting out their distinctive hoota 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 warning cry. Breeding peaks in the wet season and in the dry season when the male displays for the female. He lowers his head down, stretches forward, and then rhythmically swings his head up and down while simultaneously wagging his fanned tail. Although the female does most direct brooding, both parents help raise the young, with the female usually laying a single white egg in a well-built tree nest of stems, sticks, and palm leaves, where then it is incubated for roughly 30 days. The Kunikuni is a small breed of domestic pig kept by the Maori people of New Zealand. The Kunikuni are hairy with a rotund build that may bear wattles hanging from their lower jaws. The Kunikuni is covered in hair which can be long or short, straight or curly, and at just 2 feet tall and around 100 to 200 pounds in weight, they are one of the smaller species of pig, being roughly the same size as a large dog. They are the only true grazing pig and can be maintained with mostly grass and little supplementary feeding. 1 acre of grass can sustain as many as 6 kunikuni. The breed is believed to have descended from the Asian domestic breed, and although they were a favorite livestock amongst the Maori people in antiquity, By the 1980s, only an estimated 50 purebred Kunikuni remained. Michael Willis and John Simister, wildlife park owners, started a breeding recovery program in which they were encouraged the recovery efforts. As of 2020, the breed no longer faces extinction, with breeding societies throughout New Zealand, Australia, United States, and the United Kingdom. Next up is the Shelta pusic, which is commonly known as Pallas glass lizard or the European legless lizard, which is a species of large glass lizard found in southern Europe to Central Asia. At 4 feet long, the Shelta pusic can be quite quickly distinguished from a snake by its ears, eyelids, and ventral scales. They do well in captivity, eating an array of snails, eggs, and large insects. They are, however, notoriously difficult to breed. When threatened, they drop their tails in pieces, leading to the myth that the lizard can shatter like glass and reassemble itself later. In reality, if the tail is lost, it grows back slowly, but is shorter and darker. It may grow back to full length as it grows, although this may take a considerable amount of time. Next up is the desert rain frog, or the web-footed rain frog, or Bulganer's short-headed frog. It is a species of frog in the family Brephocepatidae and is found in Namibia and South Africa. Its natural habitat is a narrow strip of sandy shores between the sea and the sand dunes. The desert rain frog has a small, plump body with bulging eyes, a short snout, short-limbed, and spade-like feet, with webbed toes. On the underside, it has a semi-transparent area of skin through which its internal organs can be seen. The size of this frog can span between 1 and 3 inches, and its color is typically a yellow or a brown, and can often be seen with some patches of camouflage similar to the sand around it. It is largely nocturnal, spending the day hiding in its burrow where the sand is moist and warm, emerging at night and during rainstorms to hunt moths, beetles, and other insects. If disturbed outside its burrow, it produces a high-pitched squeaking sound when provoked. This is commonly referred to as a war cry. And our extinct animal of the week is Leadsichthys, which is a giant member of the Pachycormidae, an extinct group of Mesozoic ray-finned fish that lived in the oceans of the Middle Jurassic period. At upwards of 70 feet in length and almost 50 tons, it is the largest ray-finned fish to have ever been known to have existed. The first remains of Leadsichthys were identified in the 19th century. Especially important were the finds by British collector Alfred Nicholson Leeds, after whom the genus was named Leeds fish in 1889. The type species is Leadsichthys problematicus. This is named due to a Celtic word with being lead having to have been integrated into the Latin language. And Leadsichthys fossils have been found throughout England, France, Germany, and Chile. Like the largest fish alive today, being whale sharks and basking sharks, Leadsichthys problematicus derived its nutrition as a suspension feeder, using an array of specialized gill rakers lining its gill basket to extract zooplankton, small animals like schooling fish from the water passing through its mouth and across its gills. It's less clear whether it also ate phytoplankton and algae, but it could have been a possibility. Leadsichthys could have been a ram feeder, making the water pass through its gills by swimming, but it could have also actively pumped the water through its gill basket using muscle means. Leadsichthys itself would have been preyed upon by certain sharks, the marine crocodile Matrorhynchus, and the pliosaur Leoplorodon. As always, take care to my guys, gals, and non-binary pals.